All three pistols are 9mm pistols. Here we have the first generation, it was just called M9. Then we have the second generation, it is called M9A1. And then we have the third generation, and this one is also called M9A1, but it is different to the second generation. You see it just on a few things. The bolt here isn't on the older model, and the magazine is a plus magazine. The Steyr M9A1, the old model holds 15 rounds, and the new model holds 17 rounds, and therefore the magazine is a bit bigger. So now let's take a look inside the pistols. Start with the M9, release the magazine, and then push this button here and pull this part down, and the slide will go forward. And when you take out the spring and the barrel, the pistol is field stripped. It's the same way on all M9 pistols. First, let's take a closer look on the grip. On the left the M9, on the right the new M9A1. And you see there is not a big difference between the three models. The size of the grip on the M9A1 and the new M9A1 is exactly the same. The M9 grip was a bit smaller. Let's take a look on the three slides. No big difference from this view. From this view you see the difference under the side on the new M9A1. So let's see what's inside the slide to find out what they did in another way. So I have just disassembled the slides of the M9A1 and of the new M9A1. When you take a look at the parts inside, they still look the same. I turned the slides, I hope you can see it better from this view. Old model and the new model. So I think on the slide is no other difference than this roll here. Let's try to move this a bit. This is my tool. Hope you can see it. So that is the change on the slide. A closer look on the barrels. This one is from the M9, M9A1 and new M9A1. And you see M9A1, both models seem to have the same steering curve and they have the same barrel. And there's a small difference on the M9. It has another steering curve. It's inside the grip. I've already disassembled the grip of both models, M9A1 and new M9A1. It is the same grip. There is a small difference. This part has another color than this part, and also this part here. And look at this part here on the new model. when I pull the trigger, there's no pressure on this part with this finger here. This part just moves back. If I push pressure with this finger on this part, I hope you see, this part goes up a bit, and this pressure normally comes with the firing pin. This part here pushes pressure on this part from this side and the blade goes down. So when I put pressure on this part, the trigger moves this part back. I have to take more pressure. Moves this part back and the firing pin can move forward. So once again, pressure on this part, pull the trigger back, and the firing pin will fall. Now let's see the new model. Same thing, when I just pull the trigger without pressure, nothing will happen. When I put pressure on here and I pull the trigger, this part moves down. You see it from this view. This part moves down. Hope you could see it just one more time. Just put pressure on it, pull the trigger, and it can move down, and the firing pin goes forward and shoots the round. So this system hasn't changed. There is just a change of the piece of metal here, and I don't know if this makes a big difference on the trigger. M9, pull it back, there's a point, then the way, and then it makes click. See the reset point. Here was the reset point, and it makes click when you pull the trigger from the reset point. Old model M9A1, pull the trigger, there's a point, small way, but it's a very small way, and then it makes click. Reset point on this model. Here we have the reset point, and it makes click. And the new model, pull the trigger, small way, and then the click. And there is no strange point, there is a small way, and then it makes click. Reset point once again. Here we have the reset point, and it is a very light trigger on the new model. So it will be, this trigger will be very good for target shooting, but in my opinion it is a bit too light for this kind of pistol, because this kind of pistol is made for police or military, and they don't shoot on paper targets, they shoot at human people, and for me the trigger is a bit too light. I am not a fan of too light triggers on this pistols, on the self-defense pistols, but I think I will like it when I shoot on paper targets. It is a very good trigger for paper targets. Didn't expect that there is so much difference just because of the two small things, because of the roll inside here, and I don't think that the part on the trigger mechanism inside, which you saw, makes that much difference, but it's very impressive. So if you want to go for target shooting, definitely go with the new model of the Steyr M9A1. And if you're not sure if it is the old or the new model, just take a look at the slide, and on this hole here there's a bolt inside and a roll. So, just one more thing. I take the magazines of the old M9A1, put it in the new M9A1, and you see the magazine fits It also will fit on the old M9, and I think the new magazine with the plus will also fit all three models. Here you see the difference on the M9. The old M9A1 and the new M9A1, of course. So the magazines are interchangeable with all three models. Now enough technical, let's go out to the range and find out how these guns shoot. First I'm gonna shoot 10 rounds with the M9A1. Position for the camera. Here the target with the M9. Now the M9A1, old model, also 10 rounds. Here the target. I blame the 2 rounds which are not in the 9 on my shooting. Now 10 rounds with the new M9A1 model. Very nice trigger for target shooting, for paper target shooting. Here the target with the new M9A1. A big disadvantage on the Steyr models is that you can't get the new lighter trigger with the tuning. You will have to change the slide of the pistol, and this will be very expensive. So after all, the changes on the new M9A1 are just small changes, but they are great. The 17 rounds magazine fits also on the older models, and for me, I'm happy that I get my collection complete. So I have all 3 available models, and I like all of them. If you liked the video, please rate it or leave a comment. If you don't like the video, please just don't only rate it, also leave a comment, so that I know what I can make better in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye bye.